A few weeks ago, I revealed one of my greatest mistakes of all time. I chucked away boxes, just boxes of GameCube games, and I think it's time to rectify it. Join me on Gamecube Quest. Now, the thing is with GameCube is I actually have a ton of GameCube games, not just the ones you can see behind here, but what I did years ago was horrible. I chucked away boxes, and I mean boxes of GameCube games. And the reason being was my logic was that, well, I'm always going to be able to play these games. I'm never going to chuck them, and I need the space. To most people, this isn't an obvious problem. However, the problem is that, well, I chucked away some very expensive boxes. So we did have titles such as Medal of Honor, Mario Party 4, which aren't too expensive. However, we do have stuff like Pokemon XD, which is a more expensive title, and sadly that means that I'm going to have to rebuy some of these. So there are two stages to this GameCube Quest. The first one being, well, I want to get boxes or replace all of the games that I have chucked the boxes out previously. It's going to be a difficult one, but if I'm honest, it's going to be manageable. And the reason being is that, well, the vast majority of these titles are readily available, and a good portion of them aren't too expensive. Now, they are things that I would not have had to pay for otherwise, so they are going to make the collection a little bit more expensive than otherwise, but I think it's right to replace the ones that I had, the ones I grew up with, rather than just replace them outright. And the second thing is I want to collect and curate a GameCube collection. There are fantastic titles out there that I have overlooked, and over time I'm probably going to look on a little bit more fondly than I might have done when growing up. As you can probably imagine, I grew up with the era of magazines where just about every single GameCube game was reviewed and rated by places like Official Nintendo Magazine and Games Master, to name a few. And a lot of them times, I feel like Games Master especially, I remember Tales of Symphonia getting like 67% and being deemed not a great game. And I'm looking back and kind of thinking, well, there's probably a few other games that were kind of completely wrong in terms of the rankings. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to try and get a few more games. So how am I going to do that? Well, the first off is I'm going to start hunting for games. And with some of the cheap ones, for example, Medal of Honor Frontline, Wave Race, Soul Calibur, a lot of them are about £10 and under. They're quite cheap games anyway, so if I'm honest, I don't really mind replacing them. However, what I am going to try and do is make sure things are complete. And the reason I say that is because, well, it just means a spare manual here or there is always going to be something useful, because at the end of the day I've got a second plan, and the second plan is to use eBay. Now, eBay is a bit of a two-way street in terms of these things. The reason being is that, well, there's always people selling these GameCube boxes, and it also means that you're getting genuine official GameCube boxes. And the other side is, well, the prices. Now, I use CEX as pretty much the basis of prices in the UK, simply because if I feel like I can walk into a CEX and get the game for cheaper, I will. That simple as that. And CEX, they give you a receipt, so if for whatever reason it doesn't work, I know you can do the whole returns process with eBay. It's just a lot easier to go to CEX and just say, this didn't work, could you replace it, refund it, what have you. And the other thing is that the prices are all over. I have genuinely looked on eBay and seen prices for the box only for some of these titles more expensive than CEX is selling with the game. Now, I know retro games are a fluctuating thing. I know the prices go up and I know the prices can go down pretty much on a daily basis. However, I just can't justify paying £12 for a box, possibly with or without a manual, without the game, when CEX is selling the exact same thing with the game for less. So to commemorate it, I picked up my first box, and we're going to be talking about boxes and cases here, and I got Mario Kart Double Dash. Now, Mario Kart Double Dash is an interesting one because there are two variations to the boxes. There is the normal GameCube colour box, but then there's also this bright red one. I don't know the difference. I genuinely can't remember which one I had because mine was a launched one. So if you know in the comments the difference between the red and the black version, let me know. Now, this one was quite a good one. It did come with the manual. It did come with like the little Game Boy Advance poster, like where it tells you all of the other games, and the box itself was pretty darn clean, which is what you want. And this was 10 quid. At the end of the day, replacing Mario Kart Double Dash is one of the more expensive ones. Not too expensive, and it's one that's pretty much everywhere, but I thought I was going to spend that much time faffing on going to different CEXs. It was a lot easier just to buy a good quality box, a good quality case, right here, right now, so I can cross this one off my list. The next one is a title that is absolutely beloved in the community, and this is the first title where I specifically went out and got the Player's Choice version, simply because it was cheap. It was really cheap. I think I paid, I can't remember if it was $7.99 or $8.99 or something just for the case, but it also comes with the manual as well. And this title is beloved, and this is the Simpsons Hit and Run. Now, I think a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for the Simpsons Hit and Run, and I do too. It's one of those GameCube games I did come back to over and over again. But it's one that I kind of don't love as much as I think other people do. A lot of people like rank this as like one of the greatest GameCube games or the greatest games of that era of all time, but I was a little bit more lukewarm on it. In fact, I think I actually enjoyed the Crazy Taxi Simpsons Road Rage a little bit more. I don't know why, I just felt this one got really frustrating at a certain point, and going back, it does feel, I mean, it's a GameCube era game, it does feel a little bit more clunky. It's still a fun game, and it's surprising that we just haven't seen another Simpsons game in so long. I mean, we were getting them so many times. I know they kind of did that Tapped Out, but even Tapped Out's gone now. I'm really surprised that they haven't ever went back and tried to re-release another Simpsons Hit and Run. Or even just the Simpsons game that was on the various consoles. I'm very surprised we haven't seen anything. But this one came complete. And yeah, we've got the case, we've got obviously the Player's Choice case, and we've got the Simpsons Hit and Run manual, which is a really nice manual as well. It's got some really nice Homer and, you know, like Simpsons like artwork, I suppose we call it, and it's got all of the other inserts as well. So it's nice to get these when you can get them fairly cheap. So yeah, an incredible start to rebuilding my GameCube collection, and I am going to also look at picking up some new titles because this is a two-stage thing. Stage one is going to be replace the games. I'm not going to replace every single one, some I will just rebuy outright. Stage two is to pick up a lot of overlooked, a lot of fantastic, a lot of great GameCube games. I'm not really going for a full Player's Choice, but if the price is right, I might be convinced, just because, I mean, I've got one of them. It's going to look weird without the others. I know I've got Mario Party 5, and I might replace Mario Party 5, but yeah, I think, overall, I think it's time we started looking at GameCube as a console again, because there's a lot of great on there, and there's a lot of overlooked classics.